Do you believe that a U.S. passport is a permanent shield, that no matter where you go, no matter how long you stay abroad, it will always protect you? The truth is far more unsettling. Every single year, thousands of Americans living overseas quietly lose their citizenship rights. Not because they committed a crime, not because they renounced their nationality, but because of hidden rules, overlooked paperwork, or one careless decision they didn't even realize they had made. Imagine this. You rush to the airport after hearing that your mother back home has fallen gravely ill. You present your passport expecting the doors to open as they always have. Instead, an officer shakes his head. You're no longer recognized as a full citizen. The shield you thought was indestructible has vanished, and with it, your ability to go home. This isn't a nightmare. It's a reality that happens more often than you think. And the most dangerous part, most people don't even know their rights are gone until the moment they need them most. That's why today's video matters. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 5 common mistakes Americans abroad make without realizing it, 4 painful consequences that follow, and 4 simple, practical steps you can take right now to make sure your citizenship rights are never taken away. Because citizenship isn't automatic. It isn't forever. It's only as strong as the actions you take to protect it. 1 hidden reasons. Few people know 5 dangerous mistakes. The first mistake is one of the most common, yet the most destructive, believing that living abroad means no taxes. So many Americans assume that once they leave the U.S., their responsibility to file federal taxes disappears. They tell themselves, why should I file if I don't even live there anymore? But here's the truth. America taxes based on citizenship, not residency. When you stop filing, your name is quietly flagged in the IRS system as non-compliant. You may not feel the consequences immediately. But the day you need to renew your passport, perhaps to attend a wedding, a funeral, or to return home in an emergency, you could suddenly be denied at the counter. One missing form can trap you thousands of miles away from the life and family you thought you could always return to. The second mistake is far more subtle and perhaps even scarier: signing the wrong foreign document. Imagine you're buying a small piece of land abroad or registering property in your spouse's home country. Buried inside the legal text, sometimes in another language, is a single sentence, a pledge of loyalty, or even a renunciation of obligations to other nations. You don't notice it, you sign. Months later, when U.S. authorities audit your records, that single line is interpreted as you voluntarily diminishing your American citizenship. And you only discover it when it's too late, when the rights you believed were unshakable suddenly vanish with nothing more than your own careless signature. These aren't dramatic betrayals. They're ordinary decisions, simple mistakes made by good people who never imagined they could cost them the most valuable status they hold: their citizenship. The third mistake is deceptively innocent participating in politics in your host country. Maybe it's just a local neighborhood council. Maybe it's an honorary advisory role at City Hall. It feels harmless, even flattering. Your new community recognizes your experience and invites you to contribute. But under U.S. law, these positions can be interpreted as acts of allegiance to another government. A role that you thought was purely symbolic may suddenly cast doubt on your loyalty. And when your citizenship file is reviewed, that honorary title can be treated as evidence that you shifted allegiance away from the United States. A neighborly invitation, one handshake at a council meeting, could become the very reason your rights are restricted. The fourth mistake is quieter, almost invisible, letting your citizenship records grow outdated. You move apartments, you change phone numbers, you open a new email account, but you never update the U.S. consulate or embassy. Life continues until something goes wrong. Perhaps a notice about your passport renewal is sent to your old address. Perhaps a legal inquiry is made, but you never receive it. To the system, silence looks like absence, and absence looks like abandonment. When the moment comes where you desperately need consular help, you might discover you were effectively erased from the system, not because anyone decided it, but because you simply vanished from the paperwork. And then comes the fifth mistake, the one most often born from complacency: misusing benefits with false information. Some Americans abroad keep claiming benefits, pensions, health coverage, or even voting rights, using an address they no longer live at. They think it's just a formality. Everyone does it, no one will notice. But fraud, even unintentional, is still fraud. When discovered, it doesn't just result in penalties. It can strip you of your eligibility altogether, branding you as a citizen who deceived the very system you relied on. Imagine reaching retirement age expecting your Social Security benefits only to be told your past small deception permanently disqualified you. A lifetime of contributions erased by one careless choice. These 5 mistakes don't look dangerous on the surface. They look ordinary: participating in community life, forgetting to update your contact details, keeping the benefits you believe you've earned. But together they form the cracks through which citizenship rights quietly slip away. And once gone, those rights are painfully difficult to recover. 2. The consequences when citizenship rights are restricted. The first, and perhaps most heartbreaking consequence is this: you may not be able to re-enter the United States in an emergency. Picture this: your father is in a hospital bed, his time running out. You book the next flight home, clutching your U.S. passport for comfort. At the airport, you expect the doors to open as they always have, but this time you're stopped. You're told your passport has been flagged, your entry rights suspended. Suddenly, you're no longer recognized as a citizen in full standing. And instead of holding your father's hand in his final hours, you're stranded thousands of miles away. The second consequence is quieter, but no less devastating: the loss of your right to vote. For years, you may have cast ballots from abroad, believing your voice still mattered. Then, without warning, your voting privileges are revoked. Election season arrives. Decisions are made that will shape your country's future, and you are reduced to a spectator. You watch policies unfold that affect your children, your retirement, your safety, yet you can do nothing. It feels like being erased from the story of your own homeland. The third consequence cuts at survival itself: the reduction or suspension of retirement benefits. For many Americans abroad, Social Security or Medicare isn't just paperwork, it's the backbone of their lives. It pays the rent, covers medication, and keeps them afloat in old age. But when your citizenship rights are restricted, those payments can shrink or vanish. Imagine being 75, living on a fixed income in another country, and waking up one morning to find your benefits cut off. There is no backup plan. The money you depended on simply stops, leaving you vulnerable at the very stage of life when you need stability the most. And then there is the fourth consequence, one few think about until it's too late: the loss of full consular protection. Normally, if you're caught in a natural disaster, wrongfully detained, or stranded in political unrest, the U.S. Embassy is your lifeline. They advocate for you, protect you, and even rescue you when necessary. But when your rights are restricted, that safety net is gone. You could find yourself standing outside the embassy gates pleading for help, only to be told, "We can't intervene." In that moment, the citizenship you thought would protect you has evaporated, leaving you truly and terrifyingly alone. These are not abstract warnings. They are real outcomes happening every year to Americans who believe their rights were untouchable. And once these protections are gone, the damage is not only legal, it is emotional, financial, and deeply personal. 3. How to protect your citizenship rights. Now, 4 practical steps. So how do you make sure this never happens to you? How do you guarantee that your citizenship remains intact no matter how long you live abroad? The answer isn't complicated, but it does require discipline. Here are 4 practical steps that can protect you right now. Step 1. Always file your taxes on time, even if your income is zero, even if you qualify for exemptions under a treaty. The IRS needs to see your name in the system every year. Think of it like renewing your passport. Filing keeps your citizenship footprint alive. One American businessman living in Asia ignored this for years. When he tried to renew his passport to attend his son's wedding, his application was denied. Why? His name was on the seriously delinquent taxpayers list. Don't let a blank tax form be the reason you can't go home. Step 2. Translate and read every foreign document carefully before you sign. Buying property. Opening a bank account, applying for residency, these documents often contain hidden clauses. Sometimes a single sentence pledges loyalty to another nation. One woman in Europe signed a real estate document without checking the fine print. Months later, when she applied for a U.S. benefit, officials treated her signature as a declaration of renunciation. A single overlooked line cost her years of legal battles. If you don't fully understand the text, stop. Get it translated. Protect yourself before ink ever touches paper. Step 3. Register and keep your information updated with the U.S. Embassy or consulate. Your address, phone number, and email are not just for convenience. They are your lifeline. If your passport is about to expire, or if a crisis erupts where you live, you need the embassy to find you. There was a case of an American retiree in South America whose benefits were suspended because official notices kept bouncing back from an old address. He didn't even know his status was under review until it was too late. Updating your contact details is one of the simplest protections you can give yourself, yet one of the most overlooked. Step 4. Seek legal advice before accepting dual citizenship or a political role abroad. Maybe your host country offers you citizenship. Maybe the local council invites you to serve in a symbolic position. It feels harmless, but under U.S. law, these decisions can have serious consequences. A short consultation with an immigration or citizenship lawyer can save you years of trouble. 1 hour of legal advice is cheaper than a lifetime of lost rights. These 4 steps are not about fear. They're about foresight. Filing taxes, reading documents, updating your records, and seeking advice are simple actions. But each one acts like a lock on the doors of your citizenship. Ignore them, and the doors can be forced open without you even noticing. Follow them, and you ensure that your rights, the most powerful protection you hold, remain fully yours, no matter where in the world you live. Your U.S. citizenship is not an automatic shield. It is not a promise that will last no matter what you do. It is a living contract, one you must actively keep alive, protect, and renew through your actions. Think about everything we've covered today. The mistakes that seem harmless, the consequences that can shatter your future, and the simple steps that keep your rights safe. In the end, it comes down to this: your rights survive only if you defend them. So here's what I want you to do. Hit like to spread this warning to others who may not know they're at risk. Leave a comment below with the words, "I will protect my rights," as your personal commitment to never let your citizenship slip away. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another critical update on the laws, rules, and protections that could one day save you or your family. Citizenship is your strongest protection, but only if you choose to protect it first.